Dreadzone, a survival FPS title with gunplay like games like Tarkov and the survival elements of Myst Survival and games like Green Hell and Sons of the Forest, all rolled into one. This game first released on the 17th of July, so just 5 days before this video goes out, and it released to mostly negative reviews. But now, just a few days on, as you can see, it is now at mixed, with 45% of the 649 user reviews being positive. And there's a good reason for that, and that is the devs are working hard and trying to actually fix the game, rather than pushing out some crap and then a load of excuses afterwards as to why the game is a heap of shit. But no, it seems like the devs are actually pushing as hard as they can to get fixes out as soon as possible. It's developed and published by eShed, and it has seen 5 updates since the game actually released. That is the equivalent of an update every single day since it's been out, which is great news. If you are a fan of survival games and FPS titles like this, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and stick around for much more survival content. We'll be covering Dreadzone in full, and we're going to go ham all over Grounded 2 when that releases on the 29th of July, and I cannot wait for that one. If you're a fan of titles like this, make sure you stick around, check the link tree in the description. We've got content out every day on all platforms, on X, on Twitter, all that good stuff. There's loads of stuff going out there. Fondle those buttons, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now let's have a look at why Dreadzone is doing so much better than it was just 4 days ago. Now, as you can see, a lot of the comments are relatively simple. Only issue is the colours of the environment are like a blurred image. The hate the game is getting is unreal. I brought it the day it released, other than minor bugs, which is in early access, so those bugs are to be expected. There are a few small issues, but the devs have done an update almost every day to make the game better. Don't listen to the bad reviews and try it yourself. So, the high hopes are there for the game, but one of the negative reviews, I actually really like the idea of the game. The environment is pretty, the sun rays are absurdly bright for some reason, and even the moon has light concentrated to blind you at times. Gunplay is cool, I have to give it to them there, but the AI for now are super wonky. Mainly, I'm talking about the survivors. If you aggro them, they gain sniper status and shoot through every bush and tree you try to hide behind. Zombies act like zombies. Unfortunately, the boss zombies aren't much better either. So, to be fair, that is something I can agree with. I've got a few hours in the game myself, and it doesn't look the greatest. The actual looks of the game are a little bit funky, and that is something the dev needs to work on. But when it comes to gunplay, that is something that this game absolutely shines through with. The gunplay is phenomenal, the graphics of the guns and the animations of reloading and all of that good stuff are really quite good. But unfortunately, those other little things let it down. Enemy AI is very wonky indeed. When it comes to taking down enemies, the hitboxes are all over the place. You can put 4 shots into the same zombie and nothing. Then a separate zombie that is exactly the same type, you can put 2 shots in him in the same spot in the chest, center mass, and he goes down like a ton of bricks. Whereas others, center mass, you have to put 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shots into them. So it's a little bit hit and miss when it comes to the deaths of the zombies. But when it comes to the updates, the team have said, we've already covered the first 3 updates in our video that we did when the game released just a few days ago. So if you haven't checked that out, I'll pop that in the top right hand corner now. Now there's been 2 updates since I covered it, and some of those are addressing these issues that we've just spoke about, such as mission bugs, inventory drop issues, number keypads not working with key bindings, hotbar UI glitches, missions being fixed, UI element issues. They've also lowered difficulty for certain enemies, so that is going to make things a little bit better and more consistent, and tweaked and balanced the AI behavior and increased despawn timer for NPC corpses. They've also improved the leaning mechanic so you can now effectively return fire whilst behind cover. As well as zombie behavior, things have been fixed, so you don't have wandering dead zombies floating at you, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. You can take a few headshots, and they'll still wander around and somehow manage to bite your head off with no head of their own, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, issues like that have been fixed. And then there's another update which came out just on Sunday, the 20th of July. So that's great news. As well as that, on Monday, the 21st of July, there's also been some more improvements to the game. But when it comes to that Sunday update, they've seen requests for DLSS and broader optimizations. Those things are being worked on and actively introduced to the game as and when they're ready. But when it comes to that update and main bug fixes, They've tweaked things like loot, storage boxes, performance and UI improvements, things like crops won't load properly, mission elements, player and world data loading issues. All of that stuff is being worked on. Also, they've rebinded all of the hotkeys, so things should work properly when inside menus now. Being inside menus was a little bit of a hit and miss. You could click one thing, it wouldn't work, but then you could use the keybinds and it would work. But then in another menu, keybinds wouldn't work, but clicking it would. So now having a little bit more consistency over the actual UI and menus themselves is going to make the game a much more smoother experience for players. I do think having that thing working as it should throughout it and having that continuity does enhance the player experience. Being a little bit all over the place and mismatch, having to press different things in different menus, is just a bit of a pain in the arse and a bit more of a learning curve for people that just want to jump in and shoot some zombies. Now, the team have said they're going to continue with tech updates as Unreal Engine evolves with new versions, making things better and more optimized. As well as that, any issues that do pop up, please report them in the forums or on Discord, and the team are going to get straight on it to make things work a hell of a lot better, a hell of a lot faster. Now, as well as that 21st update, which came out on Monday, just 2 days before this video goes live. A new and experimental brand of DLSS and FSFR support. These things are in an experimental version, unfortunately, so they're not on the main game. If you do have the game, you can join the experimental branch and test out updates early. To do that, what you want to do is head on the game, right-click it, then go to Properties, then down to Betas, and then if you bring down the drop-down menu, this is here, DLSS and FSR support. That is how you enter the experimental branch of the game. Now, this version does include DLSS 4 support, FSR 3.1, and frame generation. From the tests that the team have done internally, TSR still performs better overall, but the feedback is incredibly valuable to us if you do have a different experience on your setup. So that's great. It's good that they're working on things that the community want, especially pushing out updates this quick. Now, as the reviews have said, some people are really enjoying the game and others are really hating it, and I can understand why there is such a mixed bag of reviews. And for me, that comes down to this here, the price. As you can see, it is £21.24 for an early access title, and that is with a sale of 15%. It's normally £24.99. So, for that price point, coming in to something that is quite a buggy mess is understandable. I get that it's early access, but also the price should reflect that. I think no more than 20 quid for an early access title, unless you're releasing the game in a very good state and you've got a track record like games like Subnautica. If you're doing something like that and you've done it before and people trust you and know you, releasing it at around about that £25-30 mark, I think is a bit more acceptable. But for a first game that you've only just brought out, I think releasing it at a little bit of a lower price point would have got you more customers in, and people would have been a little bit more lenient towards some of the bugs. But 25 quid is a lot of money to a lot of people these days. Things are expensive, times are hard. And being that there's been, 649 reviews, I'd say at minimum there's been 1,200 people that have bought this game. Minimum 1,200. So that's a decent chunk of change. So fair enough on the dev, and they are pushing out more and more updates, which is obviously in turn going to bring up more and more sales. I have tried to look at the Steam charts to try and find the actual player counts and how many people have bought the game, but I can't find out any numbers on there, which is, a bit of a pain in the ass. But hopefully the team do continue to update this game continually with fresh content and bug fixes. For the first few weeks, I'd imagine it's just going to be a big flurry of updates to fix the game and make it a much more playable experience. What do you guys think, though? Have you tried Dreadzone? Is it on your list? Or are you waiting for the price to drop or the reviews to improve? Let me know in the comments down below. And whilst you're down there, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and check out the link tree to find all of the socials. For now, though, I've been Wired. You've been awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.